All right, let's talk about something huge happening, kind of behind the scenes in the world of global finance. We're talking about a massive race to build the payment systems of the future. And, whoever wins this race is going to hold the keys to financial power for decades. So let's dive in and see what's really at stake here.
So let me just start with a simple question, but one that's, well, it's pretty terrifying. What if there was a new kind of computer that could just shatter the digital locks on everything? I mean, everything from your personal bank account to global trade systems. And no, this isn't sci-fi. This is the challenge that our entire financial world is staring down right now.
And that new kind of computer, it's a quantum computer. Now these things they're just revolutionary. They can solve problems that would take our best computers today literally billions of years. But here's the kicker. One of the problems they're really good at solving is breaking the encryption that protects all of our money. There's this thing called Shor's algorithm, and it can basically pick the digital locks we all depend on, making our current security standards, well, dangerously obsolete.
Okay, so to really get why this is such a massive deal, we've got to look at the system we all use every single day. Let's call them the traditional rails of finance.
Think about our current financial system. SWIFT, all those big banks, credit card networks. It's like this massive, powerful railroad that was built for a completely different era. Sure, it works. It moves trillions of dollars, but it was designed for a world that, honestly, just doesn't exist anymore.
And when you look closely, you start to see the cracks in that old foundation. The whole thing runs on what's called classical cryptography, which we now know is a sitting duck for quantum computers. It's super dependent on Western-controlled networks, which means it can be used for sanctions and political pressure. It's also centralized, which creates these huge single points of failure. Bottom line, it was just never built for the kind of speed, cost, and security we need in a post-quantum world.
But, a challenge this big always creates an opportunity. And this one has sparked the development of a totally new kind of financial plumbing, a quantum-safe alternative that's been designed from the ground up for the world of today and tomorrow. So let's meet the challenger. This is the new quantum-safe infrastructure that a lot of cutting-edge projects are building right now. And this isn't just about putting a patch on the old system. Nope. This is about building something completely new, based on totally different rules.
And the difference is just night and day. Instead of that old breakable crypto, it uses post-quantum cryptography that's built to resist attacks. Instead of forcing dependence, it allows nations to have their own independent payment rails. It's decentralized, so there's no single off switch. It's quantum safe by its very design, and it's built for the tools of the future, like central bank digital currencies, digital versions of a country's own money, and instant payments across borders.
Okay, so we've got the old guard and the new challenger. Let's put them head to head. Let's see how they really stack up where it counts.
Here's the big picture, the full comparison. We're going to break this down piece by piece, but just at a glance, you can see how different these two approaches are. Keep an eye on the traditional Rails column versus the quantum-safe one as we go. Let's kick things off with security.
First up, security. And really, this is the main event. The traditional system, it's vulnerable. A powerful quantum computer could break it. The quantum-safe system, on the other hand, is built with math that can resist those attacks, not just now, but for the future. So the bottom line is pretty simple. One is breakable, the other is built to last.
Next, let's talk about sovereignty, because this isn't just about tech, it's about control. With the traditional rails, countries often have to be dependent on others. Their economies can get hit with sanctions or censorship. The alternative? It enables real financial sovereignty. It gives nations the tools to control their own economic destiny without having to ask for permission.
Well, what about the actual infrastructure? Well, the old way is centralized. If one big hub goes down, the whole network can get crippled. The new way is decentralized. It's more like a web than a hub with spokes. What does that mean? It means it has incredible resilience, it can handle failures, and it's always on. It's just a smarter, tougher design.
So how ready are these systems for what's coming next? The traditional system is reactive. When the quantum threat is here for everyone, fixing it will be a messy, chaotic, and unbelievably expensive nightmare. The quantum-safe system is proactive. It is future-proof by its very design, built from day one for the world we're moving into, not the one we're leaving behind.
And finally, what can you actually do with it? Legacy systems are clunky, they're slow, they're expensive. They were made for an old model of finance. This new infrastructure is built for serious, institutional-grade stuff. Think CBDCs that can scale to a whole country, efficient trade finance, instant global payments, things the old rails just choke on.
So you might be sitting there thinking, okay, this all sounds pretty futuristic. But the thing is, the race to build and implement this new infrastructure is happening right now, and the stakes could not be higher.
And this quote right here, it just nails it. This isn't some problem for our grandkids to worry about. Why? Because data that's being stolen today can be saved and broken by a quantum computer tomorrow. Every single financial transaction, every government secret being sent right now. It's a ticking time bomb. Today's security is absolutely tomorrow's liability.
And here it is. This is the source for our whole explainer. You can see how all the points we've been talking about, from the security and sovereignty angles to being ready for the future, it's all laid out right here. It really frames this as a fundamental choice. Do we keep patching up a vulnerable past, or do we start building a secure future?
So the real takeaway is this. A new financial era is being built, whether we're ready for it or not. The opportunity here isn't just to be a part of it, but to actually build it the right way, to secure it, to own it, and to scale it for the economies of the future.
This is the bottom line right here. The shift is already happening. We're seeing a move from dependence to independence, from old legacy systems to systems that are built for longevity, and, most critically, from being vulnerable to being quantum safe. So we'll leave you with this one thought. The actual code for the future of global finance, the rules for how money moves across the entire planet, is being written as we speak. The only real question left is, who's going to get to write it? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.